So do I think titers are important? If you had to do a titer because someone is pressuring you, because you can't get into a socialization class or et cetera, then do your titers. I like to do titers. I've done titers for my dog. You all know I have an aging dog here. I used to do them every year just for my own edification. I don't think she was like probably 13 or 14 before those distemper parvo titers came down. So, these titers on antibody well, actually all of those, but especially distemper and parvo, they can run very high for very long. And when you're reading a titer, it does not matter how high it is. It does not matter. All you need to see is that there is a reaction in there, that there is some sort of a titer there. And that's enough to tell you that the immune system is turned on currently. But it does not tell you that there's what we call an anamnestic response, a memory response. The memory response is what's there for those of us that had chickenpox as kids or measles or mumps. And if you came in contact with, and you had them when you were a kid, and you came in contact with, a second grade classroom, and there's chickenpox and measles and mumps going around, your anamnestic response would kick in gear. And because it's not a big deal, because your immune system is much more functional than it was when you were a second grader, but it kicks in gear and produces antibodies. So there's been so much confusion around antibodies with this whole COVID scenario, which is really irritating to me, because it makes it very scary for people to not understand about how your body can protect. So the titers that you do are only a tiny snapshot of one wing of the immune system. Okay, so here's another important thing. Don't kill the messenger, but antibody titers do not necessarily mean immunity. You can have an antibody titer and not have protection or immunity. And this is another dirty little secret that people don't tell you. But I can tell you that for the most part, if you have antibody titers, for the most part, the animal is protected. But what I think really protects your animal is their age and their exposure to be out there in the world, meeting other dogs. These things are everywhere. Parvo's everywhere. Distemper, not so much, only in certain communities. But we need that kind of training. We need that kind of exposure. And if you have that even on a regular basis, your body's going to deal with it. It's going to handle it. And usually, unless a very immune compromised animal, is going to be perfectly fine. So I would only do antibody titers if you're like me and you're a nerd and you want to see what's happening, or if your kennel requires it, or if there's some other academic reason. But otherwise, I wouldn't do them, not in an adult animal. You don't need to worry about that. You should worry about other things. Okay, like how much gas is going to cost.